Hello everyone, and welcome to Designing and Managing Large Online Courses, a workshop on how to adjust and make manageable high quality online courses with larger than normal enrollments. My name is Sarah Schroeder. I am a faculty member in the School of Education in the Instructional Design and Technology program, and I'm here to start us out by sharing some of my own experiences in shifting to remote learning this spring and how I managed larger than normal enrollments in my fully online courses and how I plan to manage that in the fall as we come back. So I found this quote from a 25-year veteran teacher who talked about how the burden of trying to adapt everything he'd been doing, manage his own kids' learning, which I could certainly relate to, as many of you probably could, handling an insane amount of communication and doing it with the added stress of living under a deadly pandemic came crashing down on him. I don't think any of us want to revisit what we experienced in the spring, though we all have strengths and challenges we overcame during that time that we can learn from as we move into the fall so that we can make our larger online courses more sustainable. NPR showed us that during the spring pivot to fully online learning, we discovered that the digital divide is real. We discovered that teaching remotely can be just as exhausting as teaching in person. We discovered that teachers were making connections any way they could, whether it was phone calls, FaceTime, WebEx meetings with a full class or with small groups, online office hours, emails, apps like Remind, anything they could do to make connections with their learners. And that it's important for teachers to see their students and for learners to feel seen in this environment. Otherwise, they're going to feel like they are just learning from a computer and interacting with a machine versus being part of a larger community of inquiry. So in this workshop, we are going to share our lessons learned from the pivot to online learning. We're going to examine strategies to help you overcome those challenges faced, particularly getting your students engaged and involved and helping you manage your workload. And we are going to discuss and hear from others and answer questions around remote learning. So our lessons learned from the spring were that we all need to pursue excellence and not perfection. We cannot expect perfection of us or our students, especially in a new learning environment and in an environment where we increasingly need flexibility with each other. We learned that we need to ask students what they think, really ask them, and respond to it and adjust according to it. We learned that this is going to take an attitude shift long term. This is not a short-term shift. This is a permanent shift that hopefully can improve our face-to-face instruction as well once we return to it. We learned that we need to keep things simple, but not isolated or low energy. We need to help our students stay engaged and keep their energy and attitudes up in order for them to effectively learn, and simplicity is one way we can do that. We also learned that we need to let our learners see us and hear us, whether that is through screencasts like this one, WebEx sessions, online meetings, online office hours, anything. We need to encourage our learners to collaborate and talk and use a range of tools to do that. We learned that empathy is increasingly important in this environment, and that first we need to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our families and our students. We also learned that we need to work to avoid burnout for everyone. So simplicity is really key. Prioritizing longer student-driven assignments can help with that, and finding individual touch points that can be game changers for us so that our students feel heard and acknowledged and supported. We also learned that we don't have to grade everything. If it's not something you graded in your face-to-face class, you definitely don't need to grade it online. We can have pass-fail assignments, we can have participation-based activities, and we can design all of those in a streamlined, simplified way in our online environments. But the most important principle for designing lively e-learning and online learning is to see design not as information design, but as designing an experience. If we look at it through the student's eyes and we design from the student's experience, we will be better able to simplify, streamline, add the engagement that we need while managing our own workloads as instructors in this environment. So topics in this course are going to be using micro lectures, rethinking assessment, creating student-centered asynchronous discussions, and leveraging peer review and peer feedback. So let's get ready to launch. Jump into Module 0 and go through the activities there. They are intended to help you start reflecting and preparing for this workshop before you jump into Modules 1 through 4 with hands-on activities and resources for you to visit now and later. So let's get going.